Several new developments in South suburban Dalton today. First, the state comptroller has suspended some payments to the village because it has failed to follow the law by providing financial reports.
You could feel the anger tonight at a Board of Trustees meeting in Thornton Township. The board and citizens looking for accountability to their finances while the town...
Get ready for a story that will make you question everything. Tiffany Henyard, the mayor of Dalton, Illinois, is once again making headlines, but this time it's not for her public service. Despite earning a six-figure salary, reportedly around $300,000 a year, Henyard is reportedly facing eviction for failing to pay her rent, and she's months behind on payments. How is this possible for someone in her position? With a salary like hers, paying rent should never be an issue. But as the story unfolds, it becomes clear that there's much more to the situation than meets the eye, and it's quickly spiraling into an even bigger mess.
I mean, unfortunately, we knew it was going to be a little messy, but it's just something we felt important that had to be done, that should be done. So, but like I said, you have just some kind.
Let's dive into a story that's raising more questions than answers. Tiffany Henyard, the mayor of Dalton, Illinois, is facing a situation that has left many scratching their heads. According to recent reports, Henyard is 3 months behind on rent, but here's the twist. We're not talking about a mansion-level payment. The rent in question is reportedly around $11,100 a month, which, while still substantial, is a figure that should be manageable for someone earning an annual salary of around $300,000, especially when you consider that many people would consider this a dream salary. So, how could someone in Henyard's position fall behind on such a seemingly modest payment? This unexpected financial slip has left many perplexed, and questions are swirling about how such a situation could unfold. To make matters even more complicated, Henyard isn't the only name on the lease. Kamal Woods, an associate Henyard, is also tied to property, raising even more eyebrows. So what's really going on here? Is there something shady happening behind the scenes? Or is there more to the story than meets the eye? The drama doesn't end there. On September 18th, an official eviction notice was filed for Henyard and Woods, giving them just 5 days to vacate the property. The amount owed in back rent? Approximately $3,350. Naturally, Henyard's lawyer swiftly intervened, claiming that the eviction was based on false pretenses. But what does false pretenses actually mean in this context? Does it imply that Henyard never signed the lease, or is she claiming that she already paid the rent? And this is all just a misunderstanding? The confusion only adds fuel to an already burning fire, but there's another layer to this story, one that involves an ongoing investigation into Henyard's financial practices and spending habits. For some, this eviction is just the latest chapter in a long history of controversies surrounding Henyard. This isn't the first time her name has appeared in the news for questionable reasons. Some critics argue that this eviction might be another example of her poor financial management. After all, Henyard has already faced accusations of using taxpayer money for personal luxuries, such as lavish trips to Las Vegas, renting expensive vehicles, and hosting extravagant street parties. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars spent on these indulgences. Just last month, she threw a street party in her town, which only fueled the fire for critics who accuse her of being too reckless with public funds. The questions surrounding Henyard's financial behavior and the eviction are starting to mount. As the story develops, more eyes are on her, wondering how this will all unfold. Is this a case of a misunderstanding, or could there be a deeper financial issue at play? One thing is certain. Henyard's actions continue to attract attention, and her reputation as a mayor is under increasing scrutiny. What's next in this unfolding drama? Will Henyard be able to clear her name, or will this controversy be yet another blemish on her political future? Only time will tell. The situation with Henyard's eviction seems to tie into a much larger issue surrounding how she handles money, and it's sparking serious questions. After all, you don't just forget to pay rent for 3 months, especially when you're someone who's used to managing finances for an entire village and earning a six-figure salary. So, what's really going on behind the scenes here? Is this a sign that Henyard is spiraling financially, or is there a more calculated reason for falling behind on something as basic as rent? Some are speculating that this could be a deliberate move on her part of a bigger scheme. Could Henyard be attempting to play the victim by positioning herself as someone so financially strapped that she can't even afford her rent? It sounds like a stretch, sure, but given her track record, it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. Henyard has never been far from controversy, and this latest situation is no exception. Henyard's legal history is messy in itself, with public records showing dozens of lawsuits, either pending or recently resolved, many of which aren't even related to her work as a public official. Some of these legal issues date back to 2012 and involve personal debts and bank loans, painting a troubling picture of someone who's been grappling with financial struggles for years. The most recent of these legal issues, of course, is the current eviction case, adding yet another layer to her already complicated financial and legal troubles as the story continues to unfold. It's becoming clear that the drama surrounding Henyard's finances is far from over. But what makes this situation even juicier is the speculation surrounding whether Henyard even lives at the property from which she's being evicted. There are rumors swirling among insiders that the house in question might be what some are calling a trap house. And no, we're not talking about the music world's term here. These rumors suggest that the house could be involved in some kind of illegal activity. To make matters worse, Henyard and her associate, Kamal Woods, have reportedly refused to allow the property owner to conduct inspections. Even though there's likely a clause in the lease that allows for this, why would they refuse an inspection? Is there something they're trying to hide? It's questions like these that only add fuel to the fire of suspicion, making the situation look even more questionable. While Henyard and Woods may have a simple explanation for their actions, the longer the situation drags on, the more the public will wonder there's more going on behind closed doors given Henyard's long-standing history of controversial behavior. It's easy to see why so many are skeptical of her financial and legal dealings. Could this be the beginning of a much larger scandal? Or is it just another chapter in the saga of a politician whose actions continually raise red flags? The longer Henyard remains in the spotlight, the more questions continue to emerge. It seems this is just the tip of the iceberg of what could turn into a far bigger story with accusations of mismanaging taxpayer funds, lavish spending on personal luxuries, and now an eviction notice. It's clear that Henyard is no stranger to controversy. As the public continues to scrutinize her actions, it remains to be seen what will come of this latest debacle. Will she be able to clear her name, or will this be the scandal that finally unravels her political career? Only time will tell, but one thing is for certain. The drama surrounding Tiffany Henyard is far from over.
Debt, and that is the finding of an investigation of village finances and the spending habits of beleaguered Mayor
Tiffany Henyard, the mayor of Dalton, Illinois, is at the center of a growing financial scandal that is rapidly escalating beyond unpaid rent into accusations of widespread financial misconduct. Henyard's personal and public financial management, or lack thereof, has sparked a firestorm of controversy that threatens to become one of the most scandalous chapters of her tenure in office. At the heart of the drama is Henyard's apparent inability, or unwillingness, to keep up with basic financial obligations, including paying her rent. Reports have surfaced that Henyard is months behind on rent for a property she supposedly resides in, with her monthly rent set at a modest $11,100. Given her reported six-figure salary, rumored to be around $300,000 a year. This oversight is glaring, especially for someone in her financial position. How could a public official, especially one earning such a high salary, fall behind on something as basic as rent? But the story doesn't end there. Henyard isn't the only name listed on the lease for the property in question. Kamal Woods, an associate closely tied to Henyard, is also reportedly listed on the lease. This raises additional questions. Is this a simple mix-up, or is there something more sinister happening behind the scenes? Speculation has run rampant, with some wondering if this is a case of subletting gone wrong, or if a deeper financial web is being spun, adding to complexity. It was revealed that an eviction notice was officially filed on September 18th, giving Henyard and Woods just 5 days to vacate the property. The amount owed in back rent is approximately $3,350. In response, Henyard's lawyer quickly intervened, claiming the eviction was based on false pretenses. But what exactly does that mean? Is Henyard claiming that she never signed the lease, or is she suggesting that the rent was paid but lost due to some bureaucratic mix-up? The unanswered questions surrounding this matter have only fueled suspicion. Leaving the public in a state of disbelief, this debacle is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Henyard's financial troubles. Investigations into Dalton's finances, including Henyard's role in managing public funds, have uncovered disturbing patterns of financial mismanagement. Allegations suggest that her inability to manage personal finances might be a symptom of much larger problems. Henyard has been accused of using taxpayer money for personal luxuries, including lavish trips to Las Vegas, renting luxury cars, and even hosting extravagant street parties. These expenses have reportedly totaled tens of thousands of dollars. In fact, just last month, Henyard threw a large street party in Dalton, further cementing her reputation for being reckless with public funds. But the issue goes far beyond her personal lifestyle choices. Henyard's financial recklessness appears to be bleeding into her professional responsibilities as well. Reports have surfaced that public grants, especially those allocated for youth projects, are being mishandled under her watch. A Freedom of Information Act request revealed troubling discrepancies in the handling of one such grant project, which was overseen by none other than Kamal Woods, Henyard's close associate. What makes the situation even more concerning is that payments were reportedly made to individuals and organizations with questionable backgrounds. One such payment was made to Anthony Butler, who allegedly received more than $66,000 for reasons that remain entirely unclear. This is just one example of many irregular payments that have raised serious red flags about how public funds are being managed. These financial irregularities have ignited concerns that Henyard's issues are not just limited to her personal spending habits, but extend her role as mayor, where she is tasked with overseeing taxpayer money. The scandal surrounding Henyard has prompted local officials, including the trustees of Dalton, to seek legal counsel about how to proceed. Several trustees have expressed surprise and alarm at the situation, and they are now consulting with legal experts to determine the best course of action with multiple investigations underway and accusations of financial mismanagement mounting. The pressure on Henyard is intensifying. In response, she has claimed through her lawyer that the accusations are part of a smear campaign orchestrated by her political enemies. According to Henyard, she is being unfairly attacked by corrupt board trustees who are seeking to undermine her leadership and subvert the will of the people. She has even suggested that these efforts are part of a larger conspiracy to discredit her and remove her from office. However, given the mounting evidence of financial mismanagement, legal troubles, and public dissatisfaction, Henyard's attempt to position herself as a victim are increasingly falling on deaf ears. Her actions, both personal and professional, seem to be at the center of a growing storm that could very well threaten her political future. The people of Dalton, as well as local officials, are left to grapple with the fallout from Henyard's increasingly questionable leadership as the investigations into her financial dealings and the ongoing legal battles unfold. The question remains, can Tiffany Henyard clear her name, or will this controversy be the catalyst for her political downfall? The public is watching closely, and the stakes are higher than ever for Henyard and her leadership in Dalton.
I do not handle anything as relates to with credit cards. As you heard me speak today in my board meeting about, I do not handle that.
Some of those charges are for you, though.
No.
Tiffany Henyard, the embattled mayor of Dalton, Illinois, finds herself at the center of a rapidly escalating scandal. It's not just the unpaid rent or questionable grant expenditures that are making headlines. Henyard is now under the scrutiny of federal investigators. The FBI is reportedly looking into allegations of misuse of taxpayer money, including claims that she has diverted public funds for personal gain, particularly in the area of security costs. According to reports, Henyard's security detail has cost the town hundreds of thousands of dollars in police overtime, raising serious questions about how public resources are being allocated and whether her priorities are in line with her position. What's even more troubling is that some of the security spending allegedly occurred while Henyard was out of town, including during personal trips. This adds another layer of suspicion to her already controversial financial behavior. When you're already under scrutiny for questionable financial practices, spending taxpayer money on first-class flights for personal business doesn't exactly portray a responsible leader. Henyard's lavish spending habits, such as using public funds for her personal luxuries and extravagant trips to places like Las Vegas, have only fueled criticism that she is reckless and irresponsible with taxpayer money. It's not just personal spending that's raising red flags. Henyard is also facing serious accusations regarding the mishandling of public grants. Reports suggest that funds designated for youth projects were improperly managed under her watch. A Freedom of Information Act request revealed troubling payments, including one for over $66,000 to an individual named Anthony Butler, with no clear justification for the expense. These irregularities have prompted concerns that Henyard's financial troubles extend far beyond personal extravagance and into mismanagement of taxpayer funds meant for the public good. On top of these growing financial scandals, Henyard is also facing a personal crisis. She is reportedly behind on her rent, with a pending eviction for a modest $11,100 a month property, and owes around $3,350 in back payments. This alone raises serious questions about her financial management, especially considering her rumored six-figure salary of around $300,000 a year. How could someone in her position fall behind on such a basic financial obligation? The situation becomes even more complex when you factor in that Henyard's associate, Kamal Woods, is also listed on the lease for property. This has only fueled further speculation about what might be happening behind the scenes. Is this a simple mistake, or is there a deeper issue at play? While Henyard's lawyer has claimed the eviction notice is based on false pretenses, the inconsistencies and unanswered questions surrounding the case have only added to the public's suspicions. The situation becomes murkier still, with rumors circulating that Henyard may not even live at the property in question. Some insiders believe that the house could be involved in illegal activity, which would explain why Henyard and Woods have reportedly refused to allow property inspections. This refusal to comply with basic rental procedures only deepens a mystery surrounding the case and raises more questions than answers as investigations into Henyard's financial dealings continue and the threat of eviction looms. The pressure on her leadership is mounting. Many residents of Dalton are growing increasingly vocal about their dissatisfaction with her performance. Some are even calling for her resignation, citing her growing list of legal and financial issues. But, true to form, Henyard is not backing down. She has claimed that she is being unfairly targeted because she is a woman in power, suggesting that a boys' club is conspiring to undermine her success. While it's unclear whether her gender plays any role in the ongoing scandal, the facts remain that Henyard is under investigation by federal authorities, facing serious accusations of financial mismanagement and mired in a personal financial mess that seems to grow by the day despite the gravity of the situation. Henyard remains defiant, insisting that she's a victim of a smear campaign orchestrated by those who want to see her fail. With each new revelation, her credibility continues to erode, and it seems increasingly unlikely that she will be able to weather the storm. The combination of legal troubles, mounting public discontent, and a series of questionable financial decisions has placed her career in jeopardy. It remains to be seen whether Henyard can salvage her reputation, or if the scandal will mark the end of her tenure. As mayor, what's certain is that the people of Dalton are watching closely. As investigations unfold, Henyard's future in office looks more uncertain by the day.
Fired her chief of police late last year without any approval from the village board. So now Robert Collins has filed a lawsuit against.
The situation surrounding Tiffany Henyard, the embattled mayor of Dalton, Illinois, has grown increasingly complex, and public reaction is only amplifying the controversy. If you scroll through social media or watch YouTube videos discussing the scandal, it's clear that people aren't just frustrated. They're incredulous about her actions. One commenter bluntly summed it up: asterisk, she don't pay bills, period, unless taxpayers pay. Asterisk, and unfortunately for Henyard, it's hard to dispute that claim. Given the multiple reports that have surfaced about her using public funds for personal expenses, some commenters have taken their speculation to more extreme levels, suggesting that Henyard might even be intentionally letting the eviction happen in order to give the impression that she's too financially strapped to have misappropriated taxpayer money. Asterisk, I can just hear her now. While y'all out here accusing me of stealing money, why don't I have enough to pay my rent? Asterisk, one user wrote, adding, asterisk, I know it's a stretch, but this is just how ratchet I believe she is. Asterisk, while this may sound like an exaggerated take, it underscores just how far Henyard's public image has fallen. At this point, the public is willing to believe almost anything about her, from wild speculations to more believable accusations. And that's a serious issue for a politician's reputation. The trust that once existed between Henyard and her constituents has eroded so deeply that many people no longer see her as a reliable figure. When you reach a point where the public entertains extreme theories, it reflects a fundamental breakdown in credibility. And that's a major problem for someone in public office. Henyard's reputation has taken a significant hit, and the public sentiment has undeniably shifted against her. Even if the accusations of financial mismanagement and corruption aren't fully true, the fact that so many people are willing to believe almost anything about her speaks volumes. Henyard's handling of her finances, the ongoing federal investigation, and the various legal troubles surrounding her have painted a picture of someone who is either unable or unwilling to properly manage public trust. That's a huge problem as the public continues to view her through this lens. Henyard's ability to rebuild any semblance of credibility or political viability becomes more and more difficult. It's not just about politics anymore. It's about a loss of personal integrity, and once that's gone, it's incredibly hard to recover from. Henyard's public reception has now shifted from that of a politician with potential leadership qualities to one filled with skepticism and distrust. And when public trust erodes that quickly, it's almost impossible to regain. The question now is, what happens next? Tiffany Henyard's eviction court date is set for October 22nd, and all eyes are on her to see how she will navigate this latest scandal. Will she be able to pull herself out of this mess? Or is this the final nail in the coffin for her political career? Only time will tell, but one thing is for certain. This story is far from over. Each new development seems to add another layer to the already complicated web of allegations and controversies surrounding her. The situation doesn't stop at her eviction or her questionable use of public funds. Behind the headlines, there are whispers of even more serious matters. The FBI is now investigating Henyard's financial dealings, and there are allegations of corruption that continue to surface. This has left many speculating that something even bigger could be on the horizon. Some are predicting that more lawsuits and investigations are coming, especially if more details emerge about the mishandling of public grants, where funds may have been improperly allocated. If it turns out that taxpayer dollars were indeed misused, Henyard could face legal consequences far beyond simply being evicted from her property. The controversy surrounding Henyard has already escalated, and there's no telling how far it will go. The public is left wondering how Henyard, once seen as a promising leader for Dalton, became so entangled in scandals and legal troubles. Was it simply poor judgment, or is there something more sinister at play? The residents of Dalton, who place their trust in her, are demanding answers. They need to know where their hard-earned tax dollars are going, and why their mayor can't seem to keep her own finances in order. These are the questions that remain unanswered as the story continues to unfold. The pressure is mounting for Henyard to provide some clarity. Is this just a series of unfortunate missteps, or has she been deliberately mismanaging funds? That's what many are eager to know as the investigation intensifies. Henyard's fate seems more uncertain by the day, and speculation continues to grow about the true extent of her financial mismanagement. The public is growing increasingly disillusioned with her leadership, and calls for her resignation are growing louder. People want accountability and transparency, and it's clear that Henyard's reputation has taken a severe hit. With all these questions swirling around her, it's impossible to predict what the future holds. But one thing is clear. This could be the beginning of the end for her political career. The road to redemption, if there is one, will be long and difficult. Even if Henyard manages to avoid further legal consequences, the damage to her public image may be irreparable. As more developments emerge, it's hard not to wonder whether the scandal will eventually force her out of office, or she will manage to weather the storm. What happens next in this unfolding drama will have far-reaching implications, not just for Henyard's future, but for Dalton itself. The investigation continues, and more allegations continue to surface. It's clear that Henyard's grip on power is loosening, and the residents of Dalton are demanding answers. Will she rise above it all, or is this the final chapter in her political career? The coming weeks will likely provide more clarity. But for now, the suspense is building, and the public remains on edge, eager for the truth to emerge. Will Tiffany Henyard be able to turn things around, or has she already sealed her fate? Only time will tell, but one thing is for certain. This is a story we'll be hearing more about in the days to come. What do you think? Will Henyard manage to bounce back, or is this the end of the road for her political aspirations? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on this developing story. Thank you for watching Celeb News.